Hello, third graders. Today we are going to continue learning a little bit more about geometry, specifically triangles. So today we are going to talk about attributes of a triangle. That means these are the words that we use to describe them or how we would separate them into different categories. And today we are going to learn about triangles. So the definition of a triangle is a polygon with three sides and three angles. So the angles are when 2 points come together, that makes an angle. And of course, we know that triangles have three sides. We can remember that too because tri means three. Um, a, it says a polygon with three sides. So the definition of a polygon is any closed shape with straight sides. So these are all examples of polygons as well. They have straight sides and they meet at angles as well. So a circle would not be one because that's not a straight side, that's rounded. Also, one other thing to think about when we talk about um, triangles are square corner triangles. You might hear that in some of the videos. Oftentimes you see them with these little squares in them. They make a perfect square in the corner. You might also hear them being called right triangles. Those are the same things. That just means that one angle makes a perfect square. Oftentimes you can, if you have a piece of paper with you and you're trying to figure out if it's a square triangle or not, or a square cornered triangle, I'm sorry, or not, you can put a piece of paper in there, and if it lines up perfectly, then you know that it is a square corner triangle. So in your practice problems today, you will be sorting triangles, and they will be sorted based on if they do have a square corner or if they don't. So those are kind of the only things that we're looking at in our triangles today, as well as you might have to write similarities and differences of some shapes that are quadrilaterals that you talked about yesterday with Miss Rubin, or triangles today. So that's kind of what your activities look like for today. So I am going to practice with you a little bit, and we are going to sort these shapes, and this is very similar to what it is on the packet. So you can feel free to come back to this if you need to in the video when you're filling out your packet, or just use this as extra practice. So we are going to look at triangles with square corners and triangles without square corners, because in third grade, that's how we differentiate the two. So we will be focusing on that. Remember, you can hold up a piece of paper to your Chromebook. I can't do that right now because you wouldn't be able to see it, but and place the corner of the paper just like this inside this triangle to see if it does make a perfect square. All right, so let's look at shape D. I see that it has three angles and a triangle, and if I were to put a piece of paper in the corners, only one corner would have a square corner. So it meets just like this. So that will actually go with square corners. Let's look at L. We know that it also has three corners, so it is a triangle, but it doesn't look like if we put a piece of paper in the corner, it would evenly line up. It looks like the paper might go a little further, so that is going to go with triangles without square corners. Let's look at shape number C. Again, it doesn't look like those all look like much smaller angles. With our square corners, our angles are 90 degrees, so it makes a perfect square. These are just a little bit less, so C looks like it would go there. E looks tricky, so you might have to flip it around, but it looks like this corner right above E would be a square corner, and we could know that it would be a perfect square. So it goes in our triangles with square corners. G, again, they all look much smaller than what a square would be, so it goes in triangles without. A is a little bit tricky, but it looks like it would fit right in our triangles with squares if we put a piece of paper in this bottom left corner, we would find that it was a perfect square. F looks like it might be a little bit bigger than a perfect square. So sometimes our angles are smaller than a perfect square or bigger than a perfect square. And B looks like they all have the same size angles, but none of them would be a square corner. Okay, go ahead and complete your practice problems, and then don't forget about your memory joggers, and I will see you next time.